Good evening, Patriots. Welcome to a special Saturday edition of the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and what you're about to witness isn't just another news broadcast. It's the first draft of history being written right before your eyes. 4 days ago, America made its choice clear. Donald Trump achieved a historic landslide victory over Kamala Harris, sending shockwaves through the globalist establishment. And folks, the aftershocks are still rippling through every corridor of power in Washington. Tonight, we're bringing you 5 explosive stories that the mainstream media won't touch. But before we dive in, I want you to do something. Take out your phone right now and text this live stream link to everyone you know who cares about this country. Why? Because big tech's algorithms are trying to bury us, but they can't stop direct sharing. We're streaming live right now on YouTube to millions worldwide and simultaneously on Rumble and X. So on those platforms, you need to follow us immediately. Now, first up, the Great American Reset. Trump's revolution isn't just beginning, it's already reshaping global politics. We've got exclusive details about mass deportation plans that have illegals taking to the streets in panic. Then the Silicon crackdown. Big tech censorship empire is crumbling, and wait until you hear what Elon Musk has planned with Ron Paul. This is bigger than anyone realizes. But that's not all. We've uncovered disturbing evidence of the Pentagon's shadow games, a potential coup in the making. Unelected military brass holding secret meetings to defy your president-elect. And we have the receipts. And just when you thought it couldn't get more explosive, FEMA's unforgivable betrayal. A high-ranking official caught ordering workers to skip Trump supporters' homes during disaster relief. This is government weaponization at its most grotesque. Between segments, we'll be featuring your voices through Super Chats and Rumble Rants right here on the screen for the world to see. And yes, Super Chats get priority. So if you want your message featured, you know exactly what to do. And speaking of support, Patriots, we need you now more than ever. The forces trying to silence Trump are working overtime to shut us down too, and that's why we've put donation links in the description. Every dollar helps us keep exposing the truth when others won't. And hey, want to show the world where you stand with real news? Well, we've just launched our new merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. You'll find it linked down below. Limited edition Next News swag. Get it while you can. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness isn't just news, it's a revolution in real time. The deep state is panicking. The globalists are scrambling, and we are here to document every glorious moment of their downfall. So buckle up, Patriots. The Raw Feed starts now, and let's welcome you to the show. Who do we got here? Remember, sound off with your city, state, and your locations, your country, the device. We got Big Green in Saratoga. We got Rocky Stallone says Trump's on fire. We've got hit the like button, Darkwood777. We got Joseph saying vote Trump or lose everything. Well, we have already voted for Trump. We got Mark Ronson. How do I get a job at Gitmo? James says MAGA go. Did Kerry Lake win? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Maria says, hello, Gary and Angie. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We've got Florida in the house, Birmingham, Alabama. We got Brighton, Michigan. James is here. We got Douglas Paxton in Ohio. He is here as well. We got Teresa in New Jersey. We got Sean in Texas in the house. We've also got Glenn G in Oklahoma is here joining us today. Who else is here? We got Kevin Adams. He's here from Benton, Louisiana. We got Conroe, Texas. We got Claire. We got Rock, West Virginia. The American Nana is here. Who else? We've got Scranton, Pennsylvania. Michael's here. We got Louisiana, Darkwood. We got Mary Peters in Florida. We got Terry in... Where's Terry from? Boston. We got Pennsylvania. Draco's here. We got Steve asking about Arizona. Well, why are they dragging their feet? Well, it's because they need to make more ballots, right? We got SV in Arizona. We got Daniel in Clarkston. We got Selena, Ohio. We got Riverside, California. Michigan in the house. Glenn is here. We got Mary in Texas. Who else is here? Virginia in the mountains is here. We got Winfield, Illinois. We got Huntsville, Arkansas. We got so many great Patriots here. We got Dale in Hawaii is here. Who else? We've got Cindy in Buffalo, New York. Whidbey Island, Washington. Kathy's here. Susan in Canada. I love it when our international friends stop in. We got Tracy. Are we reporting what's going on in the Senate? I think we may have some stuff, so stick around. We got Milo, who is got some big love for Trump. Steve Turk is here. We got Jim and Michael and James. Kimberly and Jesse. Kimberly's in Statesville. We got Louise from the Gulag of New York State. We got Andrew, Andrea, my darling Angel, Carrie in Missouri. Wow, so many people are joining us right now. Okay, well, we got a lot of news to get to, so let's not delay. I know quite often people get frustrated when they watch this after the live feed. Well, they need to catch it when it's live so that they can be part of the welcoming committee. What can I say? Because we want to make sure everybody is recognized as much as we can. Okay, let's get into our first story of the day. Good evening, Patriots. Tonight, we're witnessing something extraordinary. Just 4 days after Donald Trump's historic landslide, the world is already bending to America's will. The EU is begging for our natural gas. Putin is selling oil in dollars. Even Hamas is calling for peace. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. Trump's domestic revolution is even bigger. Mass deportations of 1.3 million illegals with existing removal orders, new cities rising from federal lands, a complete dismantling of the homeless crisis. This is not just a presidency, it's a great American reset that we have been waiting for. And speaking of America's great reset, let me tell you something that should alarm every patriot watching. Right now, as Trump prepares to take office, our national debt has exploded beyond $35 trillion. The Biden-Harris administration has been printing money faster than you can say inflation. But here's what the globalists don't want you to know. Smart money is already moving. So if you have funds sitting in a low-interest bank account or 401k IRA retirement account, you need to call my friends at Global Gold Investments. They are America's leading conservative precious metals dealer, and receive absolutely free their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. The number on the screen, 888-700-4148. Make sure you mention Next News. Receive their 5-star customer treatment along with their complimentary portfolio analysis. Operators are standing by. That number again, 888-700-4148, or just visit IRAGoldproof.com. It's linked below. Remember, if you don't have gold, then you don't have wealth. Okay, friends, let's get into it. We currently are tracking Trump supporters right now counter-protesting as thousands of immigrants are marching against President-elect Trump.
No more president! No more president! Deportations!
Let's go Trump! Let's go Trump! Let's go Trump! Let's go Trump!
Not a shit when we're in your mom. I guarantee you when I catch you alone, you ain't gonna talk that shit. I guarantee you.
Eagle, I love them all.
Trump is your president! Right here! Trump! Trump! Trump number one! Get the fuck out of our face here! Let's go, sir!
You know what's so crazy? Check this out. Here are the illegal immigrants marching in the streets right now. And what's crazy about this is here they are, they're marching. I mean, they're making it so easy for them to just be rounded up and shipped back home. I mean, please, do more of these marches, and we'll just set up buses at the end of your march, and you can just march right into the bus and be deported. You're making it so easy. How stupid are these people? And, of course, we have Joe Biden. He's back in Delaware for another vacation. This from RNC Research. According to them, he's now spent 560 days, or 40.3% of his presidency, on vacation. Yes, the lame duck is going to hang out at his beach house. Now, we also learned this. President-elect Trump is offering to pay off Kamala Harris's campaign debts. What do you guys think about that? I mean, we all donated to Trump so we could win, not to pay off Kamala's debt, but this could really be a very strong olive branch, despite all the attacks that President Trump has endured. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we as a party, and for the sake of desperately needed unity, we should do this. He posted this morning on his Truth Social account. I'm very surprised the Democrats, who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2020 presidential election, raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they're being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we do as a party and for the sake of desperately needed unity. We have a lot of money left over. That our biggest asset is the campaign was earned media, and that doesn't cost very much. Make America great again. And then we have this, yes, down in the Bahamas.
Back from overseas, Trump, everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again.
Woo!
I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah, Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
I saw that. I'm like, dude, I got to show everybody. This is beautiful. Oh, man. You can't beat it. This was in San Bernardino, California. Look at that sign. Trump is your daddy again. And then we have this. President Trump making a promise to protect Americans from government tyranny.
A central bank. And tonight I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Do you know about that?
No central bank digital currency. Certainly, we do not want that at all. Elon Musk, on making processes efficient with his new government agency, the Department of Government Efficiency, whatever requirement, it must come with a name and not a department. That's why they need to be able to fire the people who are creating the roadblocks and just wasting time and money in the government. Whatever the requirement, it must come with a name, not just a department. Because you can't ask a department, you have to ask a person. And the person who's putting forward the requirement must take responsibility for that requirement. Eric Doherty, plans are already being drawn up in the Trump team for mass deportations. According to the Wall Street Journal, the plan is first, target the 1.3 million illegals who have already received orders of deportation from a court, along with illegals who have other criminal convictions or charges. That is definitely a good start. And maybe just head on over to New York and find out where they're going to have their next march and make it a lot easier. Mr. Reagan posting this, I just realized Kamala Harris has to certify the election on January 6th. It just keeps getting better. Oh, imagine that. She now has to stand at the head of the Senate, count up all the electors, and certify Trump's victory. Yes, it is going to be absolutely amazing.
Hold on. On day one, I will seal the border and will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. And if other countries say they won't take them back, we're not going to take them back. I will say that, yeah, here they come. You're just going to hold on to your britches, because here they come. They're coming back.
Hold on to your britches, baby. America is coming back. They are celebrating in the Bahamas. And then we got this from the Raw Egg Nationalist. If you want an idea what to expect when RFK Jr. actually gets his hands on the FDA, here is a good idea. The FDA's war, this is what he posted, the FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, vitamins, clean food, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. Preserve your records and pack your bags. Kyle Becker posting this. 49 of the 50 states shifted red in the 2024 election. States that shifted most right: New York, California, West Virginia, New Jersey, and Maryland. States that shifted hard to the right: Arkansas, Hawaii, Nevada, Idaho, New Mexico, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Illinois, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. Look at that glorious red map. It was a landslide, friends, and the left is in total meltdown. MJ Truth Ultra, Trump plans to unleash 100 plus ferocious legal warriors across America to investigate all Soros Marxist DAs and restoring justice in America. It is time to expel anybody who has a connection to George Soros. Hold them accountable. There is no more a dire threat to the American way of life than the corruption of the weaponization of our justice system. Let's listen to the president.
Attorneys, there is no more dire threat to the American way of life than the corruption and weaponization of our justice system, and it's happening all around us. If we cannot restore the fair and impartial rule of law, we will not be a free country. As president, it will be my personal mission to restore the scales of justice in America. We will have fairness and equality under the law, and to that end, I will appoint U.S. attorneys who will be the polar opposite of the Soros district attorneys and others that are being appointed throughout the United States. Very unfair to our population, very unfair to our country. They will be the 100 most ferocious legal warriors against crime and communist corruption that this country has ever seen. As we completely overhaul the Federal Department of Justice and FBI, we will also launch sweeping civil rights investigations into Marxist local district attorneys. And that's what we have. They're Marxists in many cases. By refusing to charge countless crimes, these Soros prosecutors appear to be engaging in selective enforcement based on illegal racial discrimination. In Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and every other city where these maniacs have taken over, the DA's offices should face federal subpoenas of their staff, their emails, and their records to determine whether they have blatantly violated federal civil rights law.
Game on.
As part of this effort, there should be a federal inquiry into the Soros prosecutor in Austin, Texas, who charged a veteran with murder for defending himself against a threat by a heavily armed member of a radical left mob. I will also order the Department of Justice to establish a task force on protecting the right to self-defense, which is under siege nationwide. In addition, we will have a complete investigation into the use of police state tactics by federal authorities to arrest conservatives and Christians. Wow. We will find out who ordered it, and we will hold them totally accountable. There's much more that we must do. We have to confront this radicalized law in schools. You take a look at what they've done to our schools, our beautiful schools. We have to reform the far-left bar associations and stop the purge of conservative lawyers from major law firms. I will do whatever it takes to save our legal system among the greatest achievements of Western civilization from the Marxist barbarians who seek to destroy it. And we will do that. We will save it. Thank you very much.
Let's go. The purge is beginning. But you know, folks, they're not going to go out without a fight. We've got more This is really cool. Trump is planning to take a quantum leap in technology and land development, building 10 new cities, and flying cars. What?
Past generations of Americans pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible.
I'm sorry, I'm pausing for a second because I'm like, it still feels like we're in a dream, friends. It still feels like this is not happening, but like, pinch me, let's go. I mean, I wake up and I'm like the cloud has been lifted. Oh man, this is amazing.
Pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it.
All right, let's
Almost 1/3 of the land mass of the United States is owned by the federal government.
1/3.
With just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 1/2 of 1%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility.
Oh, this is good. I mean, I've been waiting for flying cars since I was a kid, and now Donald Trump is going to make it happen.
These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families in our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly, I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police. They will do the job the way they have to. It is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. I will dramatically increase living standards and build a future that brings our country together through excitement, opportunity, and success. Thank you very much.
This is going to be the greatest age of America we have ever seen, and you get to be a part of it. Your vote helped to make this happen, and I cannot wait to see it all unfold. Holy cow. We've also got this coming in. Donald Trump's plan to end the drug epidemic. No mercy. No mercy on the cartels.
And it's now time for our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and by all of the other crime that's taking place. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels.
Let's go.
In this war, Joe Biden has sided against the United States and with
Traitors.
the cartels. They are making more money than they've ever made before, times 10. There's never been anything like it. They're major, major companies. They're bigger than even some of our biggest companies. Biden's open border policies are a deadly betrayal of our nation. When I am president, it will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels, just as we took down ISIS and the ISIS caliphate, and just as, unlike the situation we're in today, we had a very, very strong border, the strongest border, in fact, in the history of our country, and drugs were at a low of 45 years. There's been nothing like what we did just 2 years ago.
Dude, those cartel bosses have got to be freaking out right now. He is declaring war on the cartels, shutting down the border, no mercy. 3 days since Donald Trump's historic landslide victory. This is it. The EU says it wants to buy American natural gas to avoid Trump's tariffs. Putin's going to be selling Russian oil in US dollars. Hamas calling for peace. Zelensky had a private phone call with President Trump and Elon Musk. Mexico broke up a migrant caravan heading to America. Yes, it is healing across the land. We've also got this. Trump is planning on listen to this. It's about freaking time. How much money have we sent to Ukraine? Do we even know where it's gone? No, we don't. How many shell companies has it been shipped off to pad the pocketbooks of Democrats in Washington or the military-industrial complex? Well, Trump is planning to redirect the money being spent on Ukraine towards a nationwide initiative to get the homeless off the streets. Let's listen.
City. Our once great cities have become unlivable, unsanitary nightmares, surrendered to the homeless, the drug addicted, and the violent and dangerously deranged. We're making many suffer for the whims of a deeply unwell few, and they are unwell indeed. The homeless have no right to turn every park and sidewalk into a place for them to squat and do drugs. Americans should not have to step over piles of needles and waste as they walk down a street in a beautiful city, or at least once beautiful city, because
like Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco.
They've changed so much over the last 10 years. Our first consideration should be the rights and safety of the hardworking, law-abiding citizens who make our society function. When I'm back in the White House, we will use every tool, lever, and authority to get the homeless off our streets. We want to take care of them, but they have to be off our streets. There is nothing compassionate about letting these individuals live in filth and squalor rather than getting them the help that they need. We need professionals to help them. For a small fraction of what we spend upon Ukraine, we could take care of every homeless veteran in America. Our veterans are being treated horribly. Likewise, with all of the money we will save by ending mass unskilled migration, we will have a huge dividend to address this crisis in our own country. Under my strategy, working with states, we will ban urban camping wherever possible. Violators of these bans will be arrested, but they will be given the option to accept treatment and services if they're willing to be rehabilitated.
This is huge, friends. This is big news. Cleaning up the cities where people are just taking dumps right on the street. I mean, remember that video? There was a guy that took a dump right in Nancy Pelosi's grocery store. I mean, it's absolutely absurd what the left has allowed their cities to devolve into. Here we've got, here's Vivek. This is what he said.
I'm criticizing. And my advice to our fellow Republicans is that after, yes, we won and won decisively, we're done criticizing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the past. Let's turn the page to chase the future. One of the things I loved about Donald Trump's victory speech, and I was personally there, was him beginning to talk about this golden age in America. I think everyone wants that golden age, a growing economy, an immigration system that works. We now have an electoral mandate to deliver it. And so to Republicans, my ask is, you know what, let's put aside our own sense of grievance or vengeance or whatever. We won, let's use it. We'll run into something. And my ask of Democrats and to those on the left who may not have liked Donald Trump and may not like him still is to say, just give him a chance and give us a chance to say that, you know what, we have a chance to unite this country in a way that we have not in a very
Okay. Vivek, I love you, man. And listen, I'm trying my hardest not to like gloat over this win and this mandate that we have. I mean, but the wounds cut deep. They cut very deep. When we see all the attacks that we have endured, the scars are still there. And a lot of us, we want vengeance. And I get it. Look, I know we've got to give it up. We've got to release it. We can't hold on to it. We can't harbor it. You know, we got to move forward in glory and victory and peace and unity. I understand that. And even Trump said that his revenge will be success. So I'm going to try my best to not gloat. But it's, you know, there might be a few moments where I'm going to kind of like turn the knife a little bit. Okay, sorry.
time. Most people favor economic growth. Most people want to pay lower taxes. Most people want an American dream for their kids and an immigration system that works and secure borders for our country and don't want their kids lining up to fight in World War III. That's the opportunity that we have. And I think it's a generational opportunity that we shouldn't squander. And so, even to those who disagreed, my ask is give us a chance. And we're going to do our part by exhibiting, I hope, some grace to the people who we believe we're wrong. But in moving this country forward, that's what we're looking to do.
Okay, but see, the radical left, like we remember when Biden got in office, it was all about, yeah, we're gonna have unity, we're gonna build a bridge, and then he just became, Dark Brandon with his, horrific speeches calling us garbage. I mean, they called us every name in the book, and that treatment of us that came down from Kamala's own rhetoric, from Biden's own rhetoric, has filtered down. And now you see these insane meltdowns that are taking place on TikTok, on X. I mean, the things people are saying. I mean, we can hope for it, but can you negotiate with terrorists? I don't think you can. They just continue to take advantage. So, we could try. We'll give it a try, and if they want to keep playing hardball, then I guess maybe Donald Trump's actions is going to, really speak. Trump announces he's set to ensure voting ID is used nationwide. Yes, Governor Gavin Newsom's trying to kill our nation's beautiful California. For the first time ever, more people are leaving than coming in. He's using the term Trump-proof as a way of stopping all the great things that can be done to make California great again. But I just overwhelmingly won the election. People are being forced to leave to due to his and others' insane policy decisions, like the ridiculously rerouting of millions of gallons of water a day from the north into the Pacific Ocean, rather than using it free of charge for the towns, cities, and farms dotted all throughout California. They're making it impossible to build a reasonably priced car. The unchecked and unbalanced homeless catastrophe, the cost of everything, in particular groceries, is out of control. Also, as an agent for the United States of America on voting and elections, I will be demanding that voter ID and proof of citizenship are a necessary part and a component of the voting process. Did you guys see the news that was circulating just today? That the only states that Kamala won is where they don't have voter ID. Let that sink in for a second. Okay? That's because they still cheat. Okay, we were bigger than the cheat. We came out. Democrats were demoralized. They didn't come out to vote either. But imagine if those voting ID laws were in place, we would have taken the entire country. Donald Trump Jr. posting this: democracy spoke. The American people want to close the border, deport illegal immigrants, and put American citizens first. Senator-elect Jim Banks says on CNN he hopes at least 15 million migrants are deported.
Do you see all undocumented immigrants as should they all be kicked out of the country?
Yeah.
Well, some conservative estimates say that there are at least 15 million illegals who have come into the country on Joe Biden's watch. It's my hope that we deport every single one of them that we can. And it starts with deporting violent criminals who are in the United States, who came here illegally, who have committed violent crimes. And I think once you do that, President Trump is committed to making that his first and top priority when it comes to mass deportation. And then also on top of that, increase the penalties on businesses who hire illegals in our country and take away the incentive for them to be here and for them to come here. And I think many of them will leave on their own. But this, the mass deportation plan needs to be an immediate focus of the House and the Senate, I believe.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make it real. Let's make it real. We're also learning that President Trump is going to be meeting with Joe Biden in the Oval Office. It's going to happen on Wednesday. That's going to be a little bit awkward. And of course, we have this, that President-elect Donald Trump offering to help Democrats pay remaining campaign debts for the sake of desperately needed unity. What do you guys think about that? I mean, should we be paying Kamala's debt? I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I do like the fact of taking all that money we sent to Ukraine and spending it on our veterans, spending it on getting this homeless crisis cleaned up, cleaning the poop off the streets in San Francisco. I mean, all the great things. This is the great American Renaissance. It's happening right now. Listen to this. CNN, man, eating their own words. Oh, listen to this.
I went back, holy Toledo. All right, Trump gained ground in 49 states and the District of Columbia compared to 2020. I went back through the record books. When was the last time a party gained in so many different places? You have to go all the way back to 1992 when Bill Clinton improved upon Michael Dukakis's performance in 49 states, plus the District of Columbia. The bottom line is, no matter where you looked on the map, Kate Baldwin, no matter where you looked, Donald Trump was improving on where he did 4 years ago, except for Washington State. It is no wonder that at this particular point, he looks like he's going to be the first Republican to win the popular vote since George W. Bush back in 2004.
And to pull that off, he gained ground with groups that Republicans do not generally count as part of their winning coalition, or it really.
I mean, the fact that CNN's got to report this is really actually quite glorious.
How much ground did he gain?
Yeah, again, holy Toledo. It's just like, oh my goodness gracious. These are the types of groups that you would never have thought that Donald Trump would have gained so much support among 8 years ago when he first won against Hillary.
Because the Democrats have turned their back on him with the crazy policies.
Trump's was the best GOP showing among 18 to 29-year-olds in 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2004. How about among black voters? It was the best performance for a Republican candidate for president in 48 years since Gerald Ford back in 1976. And among Hispanic voters, the exit polls only go back since 1972. But Donald Trump's performance on Tuesday was the best for a Republican presidential candidate in exit poll history. He literally goes all the way back through history and breaks history. This is what we're talking about, Kate Baldwin. Groups that you never thought that Donald Trump would do well among, even for a Republican candidate, that is what he did. If the 2016 election was about Donald Trump breaking through with white working class voters, this election was about breaking through and going to that Democratic coalition and tearing it apart.
Wow! Going into the Democrat coalition and tearing it apart. Oh, yes, they have vacated the lunatic fringe Democrat Party, and they don't even know what hit them. They have no idea what happened. But hey, guess what? Trump is your daddy again. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing is nothing short of a revolution. Trump's comprehensive plan to rebuild America from mass deportations to new cities, from dismantling the homeless crisis and restoring law and order. This is the great reset the globalists feared. While they plotted to have their little Build Back Better scheme, Trump was planning something far more powerful. Build Back American. And the world's already responding, realigning itself with a resurgent American. But here's what I want to know from you. Which of Trump's America First policies do you think will have the biggest impact on restoring our nation's greatness? Share your thoughts down below. All right, I saw some super chats that just came in. We have a record number of people watching right now across all platforms. Over 12,000 people are watching. My friends, share this stream. Text it out to everyone you know. Pop the link, share the link, send it in a text message. Let's see if we can break every single record we ever have. But this is great. America is watching and America is celebrating. Okay. We got Jim Dara dropping a 2-spot from Southern Oregon. He's in the house. We've got Alex Bleeping Jones here. I greatly fear for Trump. They absolutely have to be plotting against him. He's causing way more trouble already than Kennedy did. Well, we have a story coming up that's going to detail what is exactly going on behind closed doors at the Pentagon. And of course, we got that story on FEMA getting completely caught. We got some big news coming ahead, so don't go anywhere. We've got Flying Eagle also dropping a 10-spot. YouTube is trying hard to keep me from my freedoms. Well, don't give up. We never gave up. All right, let's continue. Who else we've got here? We've got Rob dropping a 2-spot. Simply no message. He just wants to give a couple bucks to the cause, keeping the fuel in the tank for the show. We've got also Lillian May Briggs, not vengeance, but accountability. Thank you. Thank you for that message. Very important to distinguish between the two. It's not vengeance, it's accountability. And as long as we can frame it like that, then I guess we're going to be just fine. Okay, we've got lots more news to get into. Let's head over to our second segment of the night. Oh, friends, it is going to be a beautiful, beautiful America, and I'm glad you're here to watch it and document it with me every step of the way. What, Brian? Okay, he wants me to take a look at some of the chat messages that have come in also. Wow, there's a lot of people watching. We're going to get into our second segment in just a second here, but everyone's like, Gary, awesome. We need deportation now. We need to pray for his protection. Yes, we do. Energy independence would be a major impact. Yes, we do not need to rely on the world. It all needs to be coming from right here. We've got all the resources, and God has put those resources here so we don't have to rely on the world. So the United States can stay the most powerful nation on earth where freedom is actually free, and it's not just a catchphrase. Okay? Yes, we are all excited, says Roses. Priscilla, Gary, please listen. And Jonathan Kahn's prophecy to Trump. I did see that. Thank you for sending that. President Trump is insulated, says Ryo. We've got Steve saying, great job, Foxman. Drill, baby, drill. Yes, that's what we're going to continue to do. Brian, can we get moving, or what are we doing here? Okay. My fellow Americans, the Silicon Valley empire is crumbling. Remember when they thought they could silence a president? Well, the tables have turned. Elon Musk is teaming up with Ron Paul in what could be the interview of the century, promising to expose the Fed and restore true internet freedom. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance, he just sent shockwaves through Europe, warning them that regulating Musk's platforms could cost them NATO support. But here's the real bombshell. Trump's day one executive order is ready to completely dismantle the federal censorship industrial complex. The tech tyrant's reign is over. And speaking of surveillance and control, Patriots, big tech isn't the only one watching you. Every day, deep state operatives and their cronies are finding new ways to monitor American citizens. That's why you need to take control of your own surveillance. This military-grade dash cam doesn't just protect you from accidents. It's your personal witness against those who try to silence you. With 4K Ultra HD night vision and 24/7 motion detection, your first line of defense against the surveillance state. Visit carvisionx.com. It's linked below to get free express shipping and several bonuses with every order. Don't let them control the narrative. Protect yourself now. Okay, big news. According to the Independent UK, and so it begins. J.D. Vance says the U.S. could drop support for NATO if Europe tries to regulate Elon Musk. Oh, wow. I did not see that one coming. J.D. Vance says U.S. could drop support. J.D. Vance has suggested American support for NATO should be predicated on the European Union not regulating Elon Musk and his ex-social media platforms, formerly known as Twitter. Oh, wow. Threatening like that. That I did not see coming. That is wild. The Republican vice presidential nominee and Ohio senator claimed in an interview with YouTuber Sean Ryan that a top EU official had threatened to arrest the billionaire if he allowed former President Donald Trump back on X. Oh, wow. The leader, and I forget exactly which official it was within the European Union, sent Elon a threatening letter and basically said, we're going to arrest you if you platform Trump, who, by the way, is likely the next president of the U.S. Vance said in an interview published last week. Trump's running mate then suggested that U.S. support for NATO should be used as a cudgel against the Europeans to bring them in line. That's huge news. We also got this. Breaking, it's been revealed that streamers played a massive role in Donald Trump winning the election. Ooh, which streamers? Like Next News Network? Oh, yeah. Well, we helped him win in 2016, and we helped him win in 2024. That is clear as day. Okay, so it's been revealed streamers played a massive role in Donald Trump winning the election. It proves one thing: streamers replace celebrities, and Democrats are behind on culture. Yeah, well, Kamala Harris is bringing out celebrity endorsements. Nobody cares about celebrities anymore. They don't. Okay? Because like I said multiple times, celebrities, everyone thinks they're a freaking celebrity. On Instagram, on TikTok, everyone thinks they're a celebrity. How many likes, how many views, whatever, how many shares, right? But guess what? The playing field has been leveled. Celebrities are now fighting for the same screen time as the Instagram models and people on TikTok. Oh yeah. Oh, they are worthless weights. Just go dance and do your show. You know, go make a movie, entertain. That's your job. Okay, Will Ferrell. Conservatives won the culture. This is proof. Listen to this.
And I believe
sometimes, Dom, you just have to say we lost and we need to get better. MSNBC is hemorrhaging viewers.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I'm like the fact that you mentioned about the podcast, but I'd also like to mention the streamers. You see, the liberal, the left, they've typically had a great control on media because celebrities in the past, I would say about up to 2016, they held a significant amount of weight in culture in America. But we see through these new generations after millennials and after Gen Z, specifically with Gen Z, is the rise of streamers. And we've seen President-elect Trump take a great advantage of the streaming community, which rejected Kamala Harris. A poll came out that over 94% of Kick, which is the third largest streaming service, 94% of their influencers all rejected Kamala Harris.
Wow. Oh yeah, this is it, my friends. The end, the final nail in the coffin for the mainstream media. They are losing the information war to people like myself, to streamers on Kick, to everybody, friends. This, of course, also just breaking. We've been tracking the Ron Paul and Elon Musk coalition that is building. I actually interviewed Ron Paul about this just the other day. It was actually on Election Day. If you're not following me on X, make sure you go there. I just published the interview on X, and I sent it to Elon Musk as well. I want him to understand what is going on with Ron Paul. It's also on this YouTube channel. You can find it as well. Okay, the interview of the century, my friends, is about to take place. Ron Paul and Elon Musk. I never thought this would happen. I never thought it would happen. The ultimate power duo to end the Fed. So unite the clans, I say, and champion the Doge. It's going to be on the Liberty Report, and it's going to change the game. Here's what Ron Paul just tweeted late last night. It's so neat that Elon Musk keeps interacting with us. We are grateful. We have a direct private message into him to schedule him on the Liberty Report. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, yes, it would. Okay, now, speaking of social media and influence, you, I'm sure, were a victim, just as we were over these past several years, of the rampant censorship of your voice. You post a meme, you post your support for a candidate, and you get squashed, you get shadow banned, you get deleted, terminated, suspended, struck. Why? For simply expressing your political views? Well, that is as un-American as ever. Well, that is about to change. Listen to this.
Deep state, if we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple, just like dominoes, one by one. They'll go down. That's why today I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime.
Let's go.
And to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis- or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses.
The hammer's coming down.
To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination. We should require these platforms to increase their efforts to take down unlawful content such as child exploitation and promoting terrorism, while dramatically curtailing their power to arbitrarily restrict lawful speech. Wow. Fourth, we need to break up the entire toxic censorship industry that has arisen under the false guise of tackling so-called mis- and disinformation. The federal government should immediately stop funding all nonprofits and academic programs that support this authoritarian project. If any U.S. university is discovered to have engaged in censorship activities or election interferences in the past, such as flagging social media content for removal of blacklisting, those universities should lose federal research dollars and federal student loan support for a period of 5 years and maybe more. Wow. We should also enact new laws laying out clear criminal penalties for federal bureaucrats who partner with private entities to do an end run around the Constitution and deprive Americans of their First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment rights. In other words, deprive them of their vote. And once you lose those elections, and once you lose your borders like we have, you no longer have a country. Furthermore, to confront the problems of major platforms being infiltrated by legions of former deep staters and intelligence officials, there should be a 7-year cooling-off period before any employee of the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, DHS, or DOD is allowed to take a job at a company possessing vast quantities of U.S. user data. Oh, my goodness. Fifth, the time has finally come for Congress to pass a digital Bill of Rights This should include a right to digital due process. In other words, government officials should need a court order to take down online content, not send information requests such as the FBI was sending to Twitter. Furthermore, when users of big online platforms have their content or accounts removed, throttled, shadow banned, or otherwise restricted, no matter what name they use, they should have the right to be informed that it's happening, the right to a specific explanation of the reason why, and the right to a timely appeal. In addition, all users over the age of 18 should have the right to opt out of content moderation and curation entirely and receive an unmanipulated stream of information if they so choose. The fight for free speech is a matter of victory or death for America and for the survival of Western civilization itself. When I am president, this whole rotten system of censorship and information control will be ripped out of the system at large. There won't be anything left. By restoring free speech, we'll begin to reclaim our democracy and save our nation. Thank you, and God bless America.
Oh, God bless you, President Trump. I mean, okay. All right, this is it. This is an answer to prayer, not just for me, but so many people who have been victims of getting shadow banned, throttled, demonetized, deleted, terminated, all these things. And when you want to find out what happened, no, you never get an answer. They don't point out exactly what word you use or what theme or idea. They don't even tell you. Like, for our sake, they didn't even tell us what video was offensive to anybody. Or if there's a victim, oh, it's harmful or hateful content. Well, how? Who did harm? How is it hateful? Where's the victim? They never tell you. This is going to change everything, especially the fact of getting the revolving door from all these people in the intelligence agencies who just find their way over to working at Facebook and X or any of these other platforms at Google. Oh, no, that ain't going to happen no more. Oh, wow, this is huge news, my friends. Goodness gracious. We've also, but see, remember, the mainstream media, they are losing control of the narrative. The streamers, channels like this, people you watch on all the other stations, on other platforms, they're taking control. And they're freaking out, especially right here. Listen to this. This is CNN, MSNBC, and The View, all calling for online censorship. But President Trump ain't going to play that game, so these guys, their days are freaking numbered.
And
right.
Jordan
Listen
Peterson.
I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations for social media platforms now that they're this big.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politic. We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction.
Go.
because your ideas suck. We don't have the equivalent of a Joe Rogan. Well, maybe you should try to find one.
Fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. I think.
Okay, let's make something else very clear here. Let's make something else very clear. The echo chamber that has been created by these algorithms to only push the mainstream authoritative content, what do? In my opinion, I think they helped to radicalize crooks. Yeah, I think they did. I think that they helped contribute to the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Yeah. Because if you don't have a balanced perspective, if you can't find information on all sides when you're only getting a steady stream of hate from people on MSNBC and CNN, that becomes your worldview. Yeah, there's a lot of people who I blame for that moment. Here we have Mike Benz. Listen to this. Brian, go vertical on this right now.
From being I want to ask you about the protections that we need for social media companies. How can we stop the government from being able to bully social media companies into censoring content that it dislikes?
With control over the executive branch, it would be surprisingly easy not to take the whole thing out, but to devastate it in effectively a single blow. All you would need is an incoming day one executive order that prohibits government grants and contracts to going to any private company or nonprofit entity that engages in domestic disinformation. It does what the Supreme Court should have done and said that the funding of censorship by the government is censorship by the government. That EO will allow you to go agency by agency and kill all of those grants and contracts that comprise the censorship industry. There are hundreds of thousands of people now around the world and tens of thousands of people here in the U.S. whose full-time, their paychecks, their livelihoods, their mortgages are effectively paid for by doing full-time 24/7 censorship work. This field did not exist 8 years ago. It was created after the 2016 election as a response to Trump winning to stop a night like tonight where he might win again.
Wow. And President Trump is taking action already. Now, the tech giants, they thought they were untouchable, but they forgot one thing: the power of the American people. As streamers replace celebrities and truth tellers overwhelm the censors, we are witnessing the birth of a new digital age. Kash Patel is promising accountability for media lies. Europe is backing down from tech regulation. Free speech is making a comeback. The deep state's grip on information is loosening, and now they are terrified. Now, here's what I want to know from you, Patriots. What should be Trump's first move against big tech censorship? Who should he target first? Sound off in the comments below. Okay, folks, we are still breaking numbers here that I've never seen before. Keep sharing. Keep telling your friends. Keep texting. Brian, I can't hear you. We've got over 14,000 people who are watching, and there's quite a few super chats that just came in. I'm going to get to them right now. Let's bring it up. I mean, there's so much activity that my browser is out of control. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got YouTube trying. Okay, this is not vengeance, but accountability. We've got, oh my goodness. We've got, I can't even find it here. Okay. All right. All right, come on. Oh, I'm just going to refresh this page because the cache is just bogging itself down. I'll see if I can find them over here on the viewer activity page. I think it lists all of the super chats. Quite a few have come in here, and this is remarkable how many people are watching. It's beautiful to see it. Okay, let's get the studio reloaded, and we will continue with this. Okay, let's see. Our last one was not vengeance, but accountability. Silo 420 dropping $2. Trump 2024 and God bless America. That came in at 4:47 p.m. Central Time. We've also got Mountain Glory, Mountain Goddess. May be weird to say, but America needed to experience Biden. Trump had time to gather a great team. America has seen what the current administration is about. You know what? No, it's not weird. It's not weird at all. You know why it's not weird? It's God's timing. That's what we're witnessing. Because after they stole the election in 2020, and President Trump had enough time to reflect on everything that was happening, he could go ahead and surround himself with the right people, reflect on the mistakes of the 2016 administration, and create an unstoppable team. And that's what he's got right now. Okay. We've also, let's see, we've got the red-blue war. The Democrats, generals, and admirals wouldn't dare throw a coup. Their junta would not enjoy political or legal legitimacy, plus the enlisted would disobey their orders, sparking a needless civil war. Well, they are talking about it. They are talking about it right now in the backgrounds. And we're going to get to that. We have the news on this. Okay. Accountability is vengeance, says Steve X. Ray. Solaris Gallery sends $20 here. Thank you for your efforts, Wendell Mollycheck. $25. Are you serious? Wow. Thank you so much. Steve X-Ray 62. Accountability is vengeance. Wendell Mollycheck. Thank you for your efforts, brother. Yes, we are here. We are celebrating. We are documenting everything in real time for you. Thousands of people are on this stream. Keep sharing. Keep talking. Let's get into the Pentagon revolt right now. Now, what I'm about to tell you should chill every American right to their core. Right now, inside the Pentagon, unelected bureaucrats are holding secret meetings, plotting to defy their incoming commander-in-chief. The same military brass that botched Afghanistan, that abandoned Americans to die, is now discussing how to override President Trump's orders on border security and mass deportations. But that's not all. The DOJ has just unsealed charges in an Iranian assassination plot against Trump himself. This isn't just insubordination, Patriots. This is the deep state showing its hand. And you know what happens when rot sets in? It shows on the surface, just like these Pentagon bureaucrats are showing their true colors. Your body shows signs of aging when its foundation breaks down. And the deep state wants you weak and tired, but here's the truth they don't want you to know. After the age of 20, your collagen production drops 12% every decade. That's why I trust this military-grade collagen formula. Unlike typical supplements, it combines 5 critical types of collagen to keep you strong and fighting ahead. Do your body a favor. Get it today while it's 51% off only at healthwithgary.com. Plus, if you order today, you'll get free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping. Once again, it's healthwithgary.com or click the link down below. We thank our sponsors and you for keeping this show going. Okay, this is the big news that is out right now. It is going viral all across the web. You're hearing it here first. Treason. Military brass holding informal discussions on how to override Trump 47's orders. This is happening right now. Gateway Pundit reporting treason. Military brass holding informal discussions. Informal, does that mean secret? Quiet backroom discussions? Well, that's what's happening, folks. We've got more. Don't go away. Here it is. But remember this. We reported on this just the other day when President Trump broke this. Okay, this is why they're freaking out. And then we're going to get into some of the reaction that we're tracking.
People, and they will get the resignations of every single senior official who touched the Afghanistan calamity to be on my desk at noon on Inauguration Day. You know, you have to fire people. You have to fire people when they do a bad job. We never fire anybody. You got to fire them. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. You did a lousy job. You did a terrible, terrible disservice to our country. You get fired when that happens. Nobody got fired. Nobody ever gets fired in this administration. It's amazing. All the bad things that have happened, nobody ever gets fired. The problem is when you fire somebody, they always end up writing a book about you, you know? I've had more books written about me. I fire a lot of people when they don't do a good job. I get a book written about me by all these losers that get fired.
Okay, so that message right there has the Pentagon freaking out. How many hands were in that decision to draft those orders that Joe Biden allowed to make us the laughing stock of the world in Afghanistan? Who will ever forget the visuals of those Afghani people running on the tarmac with a U.S. military plane behind them, screaming and celebrating, and then climbing on the jet and falling from the jet, trying to escape? The most embarrassing moment in American history. And that was all on Joe Biden's watch. Donald Trump finally calling for accountability, but the Pentagon is freaking out. It was just leaked to CNN that unelected officials at the Pentagon are already holding secret meetings on what to do if Donald Trump issues orders they don't agree with. Some of those orders include using active military to assign in carrying out mass deportation and firing corrupt actors currently in the U.S. government. Well, guess what? Those are orders. They're not illegal orders. Yes, I'm aware of the different things that soldiers can do if there is an actually illegal order. But if the commander-in-chief orders you to execute an order that is going to remove illegals because they're here illegally, hence the term, then there's nothing illegal about that order. Okay? Why have our politicians allowed these unelected bureaucrats to hold so much power? I hope Trump fires them all. Yes, fire them all. There's going to be a lot of heads rolling in Washington. More on this. We also have Pentagon officials having informal conversation about how the DOD would respond if Trump issues order to deploy active duty troops domestically and fire large swaths of apolitical staffers. Officials tell Natasha Bertrand and me. This is from Haley Britsky. It's CNN. They're posting this. This is CNN actually reporting this news. Pentagon officials discussing how to respond if Trump issues controversial orders. Pentagon officials are holding informal discussions about how the Department of Defense would respond if Trump issues to deploy active duty troops domestically. Trump has suggested he would be open to using active duty forces for domestic law enforcement and mass deportation, and has indicated he wants to stack the federal government with loyalists and clean out corrupt actors in the U.S. national security establishment. Well, that's called draining the swamp, honey. That's called cleaning it out. If you have generals who are not listening to you or disobeying orders, fire them on their ass. Fire them out on their ass. They do not belong in the chain of command. Fire them. Send them to the brig. Whatever you got to do. Court-martial them. Surround yourself with the people who are going to follow orders, who share your vision. And they're terrified of that because they have these deep state entrenched bureaucrats who they've been there forever. Okay? I know firsthand, I have been inside top secret facilities. I have had to call the Central Intelligence Agency to get top secret clearance to enter into facilities so that I could, participate in a Christmas party, at a retirement luncheon, at the National Reconnaissance Office. I know what and how the military-industrial complex, the military intelligence apparatus, I know how they revere these people in the White House, in the administrations. Revere is the wrong word. They look down on them because the entrenched deep state bureaucracy is always there. They're always there. They're never let go. But they refer to the people in the White House as the Christmas help. Yeah. It's just seasonal, guys. That's how they feel about them. Well, things are about to change because the Christmas help is going to come in and start firing all the scum. Okay, we've got FBI senior execs left shell-shocked over Trump victory, scrambling to retire. The FBI is freaking out as well. Quote, I have friends still at the Bureau telling me that no less than 50 senior executives are scrambling to retire. That's according to a former whistleblower, George Hill stated. Coming from the post-millennial, FBI senior execs left shell-shocked. Oh, and they should be. They should be. After what the FBI did to our president while he was president after 2016. The illegal wiretapping, listening in, the phony stories, the investigate. Come on, it goes on and on. So now Donald Trump is returning, and he is going to sweep the garbage right out of every single piece of bureaucracy. U.S. Justice Department, we're learning this, has charged multiple individuals allegedly involved in an Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. Is it really Iranian, though? Or is it the CIA?
Iran. This hour from the Justice Department, again, the FBI has officially filed murder for hire charges against a member of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and at least 2 others in the thwarted Iranian plot to assassinate Donald Trump. NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian joins us. Ken, I guess it's hard to imagine them actually arresting this person or persons, but this opens up other possibilities.
Yeah, Andrew, well, they have 2 men in custody who they say were the American operatives hired by this Iranian intelligence operative who is in Iran, they say. But what's interesting about this whole thing is that the reason they know that this plot was targeting Donald Trump is because the Iranian operative actually engaged in voluntary telephone interviews with the FBI from Iran and explained the plot. He was trying to get a reduced sentence for another unnamed defendant who is in prison in the United States. But that is how they know that this was a murder for hire plot directed at Donald Trump. And these people, this group was also targeting a prominent Iranian-American journalist and dissident who's been the subject of previous murder for hire plots in New York City. But now these 2 men are in custody and charged with murder for hire and related charges. And as you said, this Iranian operative is in Iran and presumably out of reach of the U.S. justice system. But it's just another striking example of what the U.S. government says are ongoing plots sponsored by the Iranian government to target American officials and former officials in connection with Donald Trump's ordering an operation to kill an Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani, who is the head of the Quds Force, part of the Iranian Revolution.
Okay, so my friends, listen, just keep praying for this man. Keep praying for President Trump. The news is all over this story about this Department of Justice unsealing these criminal charges. I think we've got a little bit more. Let's
President-elect. We have some breaking news this hour. The Justice Department has just unsealed criminal charges in a thwarted Iranian plot to kill President-elect Donald Trump. David Sputton has the latest. David.
Kaylee, we have known there has been a steady threat stream toward the life of President-elect Donald Trump originating in Iran. This is one more example. According to the Justice Department, specifically the Southern District of New York, they're looking for a 51-year-old who they believe resides in Iran. His name is Farhad Shakiri. And according to the Justice Department, he was working with the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps on a plot to kill then former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, just a few months ago said, quote, it would cost a huge amount of money. That's what he allegedly told the folks back in Iran. Now, separately, he is also accused of employing multiple associates in New York City to surveil and murder an unnamed U.S. citizen that opposed the Iranian regime in New York. Now, Kaylee, this all stems from former President Trump's directive to kill General Qasem Soleimani back in January of 2020. Since then, national security officials have told Fox News the threat stream toward President-elect Trump's life has really increased. This is one more example. So his name is Farhad Shakiri, and he is accused of working with the Iran National Guard Corps to kill President-elect Donald Trump.
David, I want to ask you one question about what you just said there, and that is the killing of Soleimani. We had back on September 27th an indictment against 3 Iranians in the hacking of Trump's campaign. And at the top of that indictment, something stood out to me, and it was the date at which the hacking attempts began to target Trump. At the time, he didn't have a campaign, but to target Trump specifically came at the direction after the killing of Soleimani. We also know a dozen Trump officials were on an Iranian hit list. The death of Soleimani, that foreign policy decision, has caused these outpouring of actions from the Iranians and the subsequent indictments.
Oh, absolutely. And this indictment today from the Justice Department uses Soleimani's name and uses the word vengeance. The fact that Trump ordered the killing of Soleimani, he's been dealing with these threats for years since that. So this is absolutely related to the killing of Soleimani, according to the Justice Department. But
wow. So the threats are ongoing. And now, okay, CNN apparently is covering the Pentagon coup against Donald Trump. CNN's covering this. Listen to this.
Man, the commander in
Is that to you?
Well, I am a little concerned, honestly, if the federal bureaucracy, whether it's in the Pentagon or any other agency, is already having discussions about how to countermand the commander-in-chief. I mean, let's remember how this works. He got elected president. He's the commander-in-chief. He gives the orders. They follow them. And so I don't like the idea, candidly, Wolf, of non-elected government people at any level having meetings with each other about how to thwart the duly elected president of the United States. So I'm really hoping that when Donald Trump names his nominee for the Pentagon, and then they take office and you have your National Security Council in place, that we have a much better working relationship between the White House and the Pentagon than what I'm reading tonight, which is one part of the federal government already having some kinds of meetings about what it would look like to thwart the president. That's not a good way to start.
But let me follow up, Scott. Let me follow up with you, because Trump, as president, will be the commander-in-chief. Yeah. But what these Pentagon officials are considering right now and discussing among themselves, what if he gives the Pentagon, the U.S. military, illegal orders to do certain things? What do they do then?
My advice to them would be, instead of talking to each other, talk to the president and talk to his senior staff. Because look what's happened. They're having these meetings. Now it's out in the open. Wow. I mean, what is Donald Trump supposed to think now? You've already got the government, the bureaucracy, plotting against you or thinking the worst of you. So to me, the best thing that could happen here is for them to talk to each other, meaning the Pentagon people and the president and his team. That's what really ought to happen. So I hope these secret meetings that now somehow find their way into the press, that really needs to stop. And we need more communication between the incoming government and the people who are already in the building.
Wow, CNN being forced to cover this news. We've got more from here's another piece from CNN
Is he going to, of course, is how Trump is going to wield U.S. military power here at home? Is he going to make good on his previous pledges to potentially deploy active duty U.S. troops to American cities to engage in domestic law enforcement and to help with his mass deportation plan? That is something that officials here have been discussing in terms of how they would actually respond to that. What would a response look like if the president were to actually order active duty troops to these cities to engage in this kind of domestic law enforcement? And if he did, a former senior military official who served under Trump said that that would be very significant. It is not something that the president would be able to necessarily water down to the American people. It would be, quote, a very big deal. And another thing that officials here are gaming out is, of course, what is going to happen if Donald Trump reinstates an executive order known as Schedule F, which would essentially reclassify a large amount of apolitical civilian employees across the federal government, including here at the Pentagon, and allow them to be more easily fireable. That is something that defense officials here are scrambling to address before he enters office, trying to kind of whittle down the list of people who would be at risk of being moved into that category, because of course they are trying to create, as minimal of a disruption as possible to the day-to-day operations here. But clearly they are concerned. They're having these conversations about whether there would be resignations, for example, if an unlawful order were issued. Of course, is how
resignation accepted. Yeah, we want only people who are supporting Trump following orders. Yes, he has the executive authority. If he declares a national emergency, 15 million illegals here because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Sounds like a national emergency to me. So, folks, listen. What we're witnessing is not just resistance, it's rebellion. These Pentagon officials, drunk on power and desperate to maintain their grip, are actively conspiring against the will of the people. Meanwhile, 50 FBI senior executives are rushing for the exits, knowing their time is up. The question isn't whether there's a deep state anymore, it's how deep the corruption goes. So here's what I need to know from you, Patriots. Should Trump clean house completely on day one, or strategically remove these plotters one by one? Share your strategy in the comments below. Okay, we got some more super chats that have come in. Thank you, everybody. Breaking record streaming numbers here on a Saturday special edition of the Next News Network's Raw feed. We've got Judicial Watch Judy. She says, Judicial Watch, they know where the 325,000 are. And I believe you're talking about the missing children. We've got Kay Thomas dropping $5.99. And he says, demand all politicians be under oath at all times. End the speech and debate clause, MAGA. We've got Rod Dobson. God bless Trump and God bless America. Thank you, Rod, for your $10. Keeping the tank filled here at the Next News Network. Here we have Jason dropping a 10 spot. I got chased off from streaming because of the left. I hope they hold the people and companies involved with cancel culture accountable. Well, accountability is coming. We've got Jason. He says, so what? Those TV generals are going to get fired anyhow. First day disobeying orders. Give me a break. Thank you for that 5 spot. And then we've got Vidrios dropping a 10. And they say, the past 4-year death spiral was necessary or he'd be leaving office now and Pence wouldn't be president. He shed Pence and took JD under his wing. Yes, it is all in God's time. We've also got this from Miss E dropping a 5 spot. And Miss E says there should be a movie made about the last 8 years of this clown show, but with the good actors of Hollywood, not the weirdos. Oh, yes. We are tracking it all. It should be a Hollywood movie. You know what? You couldn't even write this stuff. You couldn't even script what's happening right now in the United States. The last 4 years under the Joe Biden administration, the theft of the 2020 election, everything that we're seeing now with this historic victory from Donald Trump, yes, it is history in the making, and you are a part of it. You are a part of this history. We are documenting it in real time. Now we've got to get to our next topic of the day. Let's get into it because Trump's victory is shaking America. My friends, the meltdowns are spectacular. Yale psychiatrists are telling people to cut off their Trump-supporting families. The View in full hysteria mode, and thousands are protesting in New York, while a small family-owned restaurant in Illinois sees business boom 50% after proudly declaring Trump is my president. But here's what the media won't tell you. 49 of the 50 states shifted red. Even California and New York move right. The left isn't losing elections. They are losing the culture war. And now they're floating desperate plans to put Kamala Harris on the Supreme Court. And while the left melts down, something even bigger is melting away, the value of your savings. The markets are reacting to Trump's victory, and the deep state is desperate to protect their fiat currency system. Our national debt has surpassed $35 trillion. The U.S. is borrowing just to pay back the interest we owe, furthering a deeper hole to climb out of. Meanwhile, gold has surpassed $2,400 an ounce. Smart money shifting out of paper promissory notes into what the Constitution says should only be deemed as real money, gold and silver. So if you have funds sitting in a low-interest bank account or 401k IRA retirement account, call my friends at Global Gold Investments. They support this program, and they are America's leading conservative precious metals dealer. Receive absolutely free their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. That number right there is on the screen, 888-700-4148. Make sure you mention Next News and receive their 5-star customer treatment along with a complimentary portfolio analysis. Operators are standing by. Call that number, you see it. 888-700-4148 or visit IRAGoldproof.com. Remember, if you don't have gold, then you don't have wealth. Okay, this just in. Tucker Carlson, listen to this. He says, what the hell is going on in the U.S. Senate? Hours after Donald Trump wins the most conclusive mandate in 40 years, Mitch McConnell engineers a coup against his agenda by calling early leadership elections in the Senate. 2 of the 3 candidates hate Trump and what he ran on. One of them, John Cornyn, is an angry liberal whose politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. The election is Wednesday. It's by secret ballot, and it will determine whether or not the new administration succeeds. Rick Scott of Florida is the only candidate who agrees with Donald Trump. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Don't let Mitch McConnell get away with this again. Call your senator and demand that Rick Scott be placed, and no secret ballots. No one's going to hide behind closed doors so that no one can know who to hold accountable. But the deep state, the entrenched bureaucrats, the people who have been in the Senate over and over and over again, no term limits, they basically live there. They are trying to set up the roadblocks now to prevent the America First agenda from moving forward, and only the American people can execute the mandate that Donald Trump has received on Election Day. So make sure your voice is heard. We want Rick Scott to lead the charge in the new Republican-controlled Senate. This is very, very important. Meanwhile, thousands right now are currently protesting Donald Trump's landslide victory in New York. Donald Trump has got to go, they're saying. Ha ha, ho ho, get on the bus, it's time for you to go. Yeah, Brian, go vertical with this. We covered this just the other day. There's a small business in Wheaton, Illinois, okay? And they put up a sign, they put up a banner saying, Jesus is my savior, Trump is my president, and the business is called Movable Feast. We put the word out, we sent the message across X, it went totally viral. The media is picking up on it now because the left came out in force, threatening to destroy this small business. Well, guess what? Love trumps hate. Remember that whole saying when the left came out? Well, guess what? They are winning. This business is now thriving. Listen to
they
this.
Put up this
A small business owner in suburban Wheaton is facing some pretty major backlash after putting up a banner showing support for President-elect Donald Trump and his faith.
The past couple of days have been a whirlwind for this Mexican-owned family business after putting up this banner, "Jesus is my savior and Trump is my president," one day after the election.
I grew up in Wheaton my whole life, so it was a little shocking, to be honest, because you know, you can have different opinions. That's fine. That's what America is founded on. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion.
The owner of Movable Feast opened his doors 6 years ago, building their restaurant on their faith. And today it was bustling with customers, supporting them and their right to free speech.
I feel like we are who we are unapologetically, and we didn't intend to offend anyone.
2 weeks before the election, they put up this Make America Healthy Again poster. And since adding this banner, the owner says they've received more than 500 hateful messages and comments from customers, as seen in these screenshots.
They never have called me a racist, woman-hating pig, but when I put that sign up, all of a sudden that's what people said.
The owner says business is actually up almost 50% since putting up that banner. Customers from different suburbs have been showing their support after hearing about the hate messages and death threats.
A lot of times people feel like they have to be silent. They can't support who they want to support. And they went out there and they put themselves out there. And I'm very glad they did.
Really what drove you is the negative reaction. And you just wanted to show support for somebody that stood up for something they believe and should be able to freely speak that.
I'm happy to see that this has resulted in, you know, hopefully the opposite of what the ill-intended wanted.
The owner here overwhelmed and thankful for the support from customers from both sides of the aisle, whether they agree or disagree, and says he doesn't regret his decision.
Everyone can agree to disagree. That's a phrase that seems like it's gone out the window. But whether you agree politically or, you know, even religiously with what I said, everyone's entitled to their opinions, and that's what we think, and we're proud to say it.
A small business owner in suburban
Wheaton. Even one of the people, when we posted it on X and we got this message going viral, somebody commented, even Grant Cardone retweeted it, J.R. Majewski retweeted it. So many prominent individuals in the America First movement retweeted it. And one person commented on our post on X, and you know what they said? They said they donated $1,000. They called up the company, and they sent them $1,000. And they said, anyone who's hungry, come and have a meal on me. So make sure if you are in Illinois, if you're in Wheaton, just do a quick search for Movable Feast and get out there and support this small business who is under attack for simply supporting President Trump, supporting our Lord and Savior, and supporting making America healthy again. Brian, go horizontal. We've got more to get into here. Okay, actually, you know what? You know, well, you can stay here. Let's listen to this one. This person here, I don't even know what's up with these people. This one, like, why do people post this stuff? Why do they put up a camera and start screaming and crying and just letting themselves embarrass themselves?
It's gonna be all right.
And when you're done with the dishes, make me a sandwich, would you please? Wow, sorry. Okay, I know that was a little crass. All right, whatever. Okay, we got this. Maybe, well, listen, Brian, go horizontal. A Yale psychiatrist, Amanda Calhoun, a medical doctor and mental health expert, advises MSNBC users to break off ties with family members who voted for Trump and refuse to see them on the holidays. Is that how you're going to bring this country back together? And a psychiatrist is suggesting this? That psychiatrists should probably have their head examined.
So I love that you have a challenge with the idea of how do you interact with people who you know voted for this, right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, you know, this man was calling people the B word. J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and you
Wait, Joy, shut your pie hole for just a second. I believe it was Joe Biden that referred to all of us as garbage. But you weren't triggered by that, Joy? No.
Voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, and you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? we got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, you know, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, you know, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay. What MSNBC is doing and what they have been doing is spreading pure disinformation that has been ingrained into the minds of the left who sit and watch this show. The Kamala Harris, the Biden supporters, all of them out there, they have been fed a steady diet of lies and they have no idea what the truth is. And when you challenge the lies with truth, they shut down. They don't want to admit it. They can't even be confronted with it. And then all of a sudden you become the enemy. So when they go ahead and they say, oh, you voted against my rights. Well, bro, what rights are you talking about? See, they make up these buzzwords, these phrases, so they can spit them out into sound bites. And then, I mean, I'm sure you've had these conversations with people. And if you were lucky, if they were, you know, going to stay in your presence and not listen to the advice of this, you know, TV psychologist by avoiding you, but you could tell where they get the talking points from. Whether it's CNN, MSNBC, whatever, New York Times, whatever the mainstream source that they are absorbing, you can tell. Because these people are telling you, oh, voted against your rights. What rights? What LGBTQ rights did Donald Trump is he say he's gonna do away with? They keep saying he's against women, he's against LGBTQ, whatever, alphabet people. This is all lies. It's all propaganda. It was all designed to get people to vote for Kamala Harris so that the deep state, so the bureaucracy could continue, so they could keep funding overseas wars. It just goes so much deeper, friends. So don't listen to, I know you guys are smart enough. You see through this crap. You see through it. That's why you watch this show. But we just got to point it out when we see it. But it continues. Here is day 3 of Sunny Hassan having a complete meltdown. This is another channel where we track here, we only track it because we need to push back on it. We need to hear the language of the left so that we can reverse engineer the lies and expose it with the sunlight of truth.
30. I disagree.
All right.
I think that I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is what is wrong with America? I think
what's wrong with America?
What is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused of alleged sexual misconduct by 26 women, found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people. That's what the problem is. It's the Republican Party.
But can I
what's wrong with America?
Okay. No, Joy. I'm going to interrupt you, Joy. Because everything she just said right there, those are the talking points I'm talking about. You and I both know every single one of those attack vectors is fraudulent, made up, in order for like I said, the entrenched bureaucrats in the deep state so they can keep going on with business as usual. And she is spoon feeding it right to her audience on this television channel. She just ran through every single thing. I mean, thank you. I appreciate that, Sonny. Now we've got a pure catalog of your lies right here in a 5-second clip.
Before we can do the second, the Democrats are the ones. They are the party that cares for the blue collar worker. The Democrats are the ones who put in social.
Not anymore. Not anymore. That has completely changed, Joy. Yeah, the party is over. Because your policies put forth by Joe Biden, by Kamala Harris, they forced everyone to go and vote with the people who actually cared about them. Donald Trump cares about the working people. Okay? What do the Democrats care about? Where Zem is going to go use the bathroom at Target. That's their priority. While Donald Trump is trying to work effectively to get the price of groceries down by opening up America's energy engine, what do they care about? Yeah, making sure that your daughter is competing against somebody who claims to be a daughter of someone else because they've changed. These are the reasons why the American people have rejected Kamala Harris and the working class abandoning them.
Security, Medicare, Medicaid, union protection,
ACA,
unemployment insurance, and Obamacare. The Republican Party doesn't give a rat's patootie about
clearly
it.
they didn't convince the voters of
So all I can deduce is that it's...
And then the applause sign goes up in the studio. Okay, guys, yeah, she's struggling. She hit the applause button so everyone sees and we can get all the lemmings and all the sheep to clap along with her lies. I'm not even going to continue playing it anymore. I'm so sick of The View. But here we have, yes, did you hear about this? Now they want to put Kamala Harris on the Supreme Court.
What Republicans are liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, you know, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court, and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
You floating? Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
The chaos hasn't ended yet. Now we have this special counsel, this just in, Jack Smith, filing a motion on President-elect Trump's criminal trial to pause the case as a result of the election. So Jack Smith, your party's over too, buddy. And it is official now. The motion has been filed. Oh, have you seen this kid before? Oh, yeah, he is another paid Democrat operative. He was out there saying, oh, Biden and Kamala, like just a real cheerleader for them. Well, guess what he said? Brian, go vertical, please.
Continues. Here's the good news about the 2024 presidential election, and there's not much. We're all very sad right now. We're all very disappointed. We're all very shocked. But there's one piece of good news that I can think about right now, and it's that the resistance continues. The resistance against Donald Trump and their awful Republican policy continues. The Republicans have this idea in their head right now that you, me, and everybody else are just going to lay down. We've given up. We're not doing it anymore. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. We're still here. We're still fighting. We mourn for a week. We get our thoughts together. We recalibrate, and we get back out there. Like, if Republicans think that women, people of color, members of the LGBTQ plus community are just going to sit down and let them do their thing, no. Sorry, not happening. And here's the thing. I know for a fact that if Donald Trump tries to hurt the American people, make our lives harder, we will give him hell. We will make his presidency impossible if he tries to pass policy and legislation that takes rights away from people. I know you want to be part of that.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Again, more lies. There's never been any type of discussion from the Trump camp in that direction at all. Donald Trump wants more freedom for everybody. Okay? Everybody. So when this kid goes on his TikTok and he does his TikTok dances with his buddies, He is continuing to spread the lies and disinformation, just like we just saw on The View. Oh, and did you guys see what this? Here is, we have, if you're wondering, this is Tampon Tim's woke daughter. This is what she's up to now.
Watching Outer Banks. Okay, I'm sitting here on my couch eating SpongeBob mac and cheese and watching Outer Banks, and
Okay, so she's eating SpongeBob mac and cheese, watching Outer Banks. Drew Hernandez posted this.
just have a couple initial post-election thoughts. I've officially reached a point of anger, and I'm not an angry person, so I'm just trying to channel it. The first one being, this country does not deserve Kamala Harris. That woman should go live her best life wherever she wants, doing whatever she wants, because we don't deserve her at this point. The only people that delivered this election were black women, and we failed them.
What?
And it's just heartbreaking, and we've got to do whatever we can to support them and support our people through these next 4 years. Another one,
if there's anything that I want to ban right now, is when people say living your best life. I want that phrase to be banned. No one should be allowed to say that anymore. Okay? Living your best life. Oh.
Is these people have to live in their own skin, as in J.D. Vance and Donald Trump have to be J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. And that is not a punishment I would wish upon anybody except those two individuals. Yeah, so I'm just really grateful that I am who I am and that I'm on the side of love and hope and joy and progress.
Yeah, so just make sure you wash your bowl when you're done with your SpongeBob mac and cheese there. What else have we got? Oh, goodness gracious. Stacey Abrams, man, she's back. Yeah, she says it's time once again to resist Trump and set politeness aside. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know Donald Trump has even floated the idea of pardoning Hunter Biden. He has also stated, and he said, let's help Kamala pay off her debts from her campaign. Nothing but olive branches from Donald Trump. But what do we get from the left? Nothing but hatred, and they want to resist, continual resistance. But Stacey Abrams, she's nothing but a grift anyway. She's got to see all these talking points they're continuing to throw out to their audience is just so that she can continue to fundraise and so she can maintain some level of relevance. All right, but she has no relevance. If anything, she needs to go to a dentist.
And I remember 2016. Okay. I remember inauguration 2017. I remember that the last time we found ourselves facing this set of dynamics, we sparked a resistance. It was a decision that was grounded in not knowing what was to come. We just knew what we'd been told, and we saw what we could see, and we pushed back. We railed against, and as more and more evidence piled up, we organized and we persisted.
Evidence of what? Evidence of what? Anything that's been thrown at Donald Trump has been thrown out.
In many ways, it worked. In fact, for a brief moment, we united against racism and sexism, homophobia and ableism, and those who would do any of us ill. We came together. And then it started to fall apart again, or so it seems. Because November 5th happened, and they're back. And they've written Project 2025, and they've used invective. And
okay, see here, another talking point they continue to spew, the Project 2025. Donald Trump has nothing to do with it, and they continue to just use that as a fear tactic. It's more lies.
Insult. And promises to tell us what they will do. And now we know what to expect. Unlike 2016, we know what could happen because we have a Supreme Court that said we're going to not hold them accountable because we have a U.S. Senate that has
Okay, you know what? There's 4 minutes of her blabbering in her pie hole, and I am not going to continue playing it. Okay, let's go back to the Jack Smith point. Horizontal, please. Jack Smith has filed a motion to remove all remaining court dates in his witch hunt against Trump. The next step will be to drop all of the cases. Here we are as a result of the election held on November 5th, 2024. The defendant is expected to be certified as president-elect on January 6, 2025, and inaugurated on January 20, 2025. The government respectfully requests that the court vacate the remaining deadlines in the pretrial schedule to afford the government time to assess this unprecedented circumstance and determine the appropriate course going forward consistent with Department of Justice policy. The lawfare is over. God won. Donald Trump won. God put his servant back into the White House, and now everything they threw at him is falling apart. But the left continues to have their meltdowns and continue to have their resistance parties. Charlie Kirk pointing out that the 3 days since Trump's historic landslide, the EU says it wants to buy American natural gas. Putin says he'll sell Russian oil in U.S. dollars. Hamas is calling for peace, and Zelensky held a private meeting, phone call with Trump as well as Elon Musk. And now, listen to this. The EU is planning to purchase oil from the U.S. instead of Russia. And it's only been 3 days. He's working the phones and getting all the world leaders to open their checkbooks. Let's listen in here.
It's the whole topic, I would not say discussed, but we touched upon yesterday. It's the whole topic of LNG. We still get a lot of LNG via Russia, from Russia. And why not replace it by American LNG, which is cheaper for us and brings down our energy prices, but is something where we can get into a discussion, also what our trade deficit is concerned. So engage, look at common interest, and then negotiate. I would not say discuss, but we touched upon.
Oh, the world is coming around to the new vision for America as laid out by Donald Trump. Oh, did you guys see this video? Yeah, there's Kamala Harris, her face, her mural, in that Obama-esque style. Well, now she's getting painted over because the joy is officially gone. And, okay, so what else we got? Leo Terrell posting this, that Dylan Filion says they can't stop Trump from removing illegal aliens. Let's listen to what they're talking about here.
Trump. So California Governor Gavin Newsom declaring, quote, "The freedoms we hold dear in California are under attack, and we won't sit idle." He's calling for a special legislative session to safeguard liberal California policies. The state's attorney general also warned of a second Trump term.
You can be sure that as California Attorney General, if Trump attacks your rights, I'll be there. If Trump comes after your freedoms, I'll be there. If Trump jeopardizes your safety and your well-being, I'll be there.
Fox News contributor and civil rights attorney Leo Terrell joins us now. So, Leo, you got violent criminals all over the state attacking people, stealing people's personal property, because they passed a law that said you can steal under $1,000 without the police showing up to the scene. I never remember the attorney general banging on the table saying he's going to be there for them.
Lawrence, did you hear what he said? He said nothing, just word salad. And what you have is you have Governor Newsom, who is a lame duck governor, trying to become relevant. It's a lame duck idea. They're going to have a legislative session in December to stop President Trump. Trump doesn't take office until January. And here's the point that's amazing. They can't stop Trump from removing illegal immigrants out of California. They cannot stop ICE from arresting illegal immigrants who have committed crimes. They can't do any of that. They're just talking. They're trying to remain relevant. And one point, Prop 36, a bill to increase penalties for shoplifting, passed by 70%. Gavin Newsom was opposed to that bill. These Democrats are in denial, Lawrence. They don't listen to the average American voter. Trump does, they don't.
Well, it's also a little delusion. I mean, let's just pop up this map of California. I've never seen California with so much red. I mean, and you just compare it to 2020, you would think there would be some, like, self-reflection and say, hey, maybe we need to change some things, or we may flip.
Look at that map. Look at that map. Look at it closely. And Gavin Newsom thinks he's going to go up against all that red? I think not.
To be in a Republican state.
I'll tell you what the problem is. The Democrats don't want to tell the truth. Donald Trump's message resonates with the average voter. That graphic earlier today on the show proves it all. Democrats is the party of the elite, the rich. Most working class Americans support the Trump policies. And what you saw on that map, Lawrence, was California, a deep, deep blue state, becoming a purple state because of one person, Donald J. Trump. That map is a wake-up call for Democrats. But the problem is they're asleep. They're in denial.
Yep.
Yeah, they're too busy calling everything racist and misogynist. Every single group of people.
Yeah, people see through it. That line is over. No one believes it anymore. They have actually diluted those lines. They have diluted that message. Here we have the Trump effect in full play. 48 hours since his election, appoints the first ever woman as chief of staff. The Taliban signals a wish to be removed from the terrorist list. Putin announces the West is no longer viewed as the enemy. Mexico discouraging large caravans from heading to the U.S. border. New York halts food vouchers for illegal immigrants. China expresses a desire for peaceful coexistence with America. European Union leaders announce plans to prioritize American gas over Russian supplies. Hamas calls for an end of the war. Bitcoin hits an all-time high. The stock market soaring to new records. Let's listen to what this guy's saying.
The European Union, Donald Trump's not even president yet. And have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey, America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs. He sent Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton into depression. Because of all of this amazing news, white, liberal, ugly women are now refusing to have sex with men. America is in fact being made great again. Donald Trump's not even president yet. Have you?
America is being made great again. Oh, and it's happening. You're watching it. Oh, and you can go horizontal, Brian. Did you hear about this? Yeah, if you're following us on X, you may have seen the post. Just in time, the U.S. House has announced a hearing on UFOs scheduled for November 13th, where lawmakers are expected to discuss recent reports, government transparency, and potential national security implications of unidentified aerial phenomena. Is that a distraction or something else? Okay, listen to this too. This is interesting. Joe Rogan says Elon Musk knew Trump would win the election hours before it was announced. He had like some kind of an app. It wasn't just X. Elon Musk has got some magic sauce that he's stirring up. Listen to this. So if Elon's got an app that can go ahead and determine the election results 4 hours before it actually hits, imagine what he'll do when he is ahead of the Department of Government Efficiency. Here we have. Okay, so this is another thing that's happening. Okay, they're saying that there's racist text messages floating around, right? People are apparently text messaging black people horrible things. Okay, let's listen to what MSNBC is saying about this.
What's going on? Jonathan, there was a woman who told NBC she sees these texts as a scare tactic, but that it's working. I've seen videos of people on social media, people who did not get texts, but who are breaking down in tears, who are talking, as the woman whose sound we played, are thinking about how they are going to explain what's going on to their kids. Tell me what's going on here as you see it.
Well, on election night on PBS, after it became clear that Donald Trump was on his way to the presidency, that I said that I was concerned on multiple levels. And the first level I said was I was concerned as an African American. And I was concerned as an African American because of the rhetoric used by Donald Trump on the campaign trail.
What rhetoric did he use on the campaign trail that terrified you so much? What? Give me a chance? What have the Democrats done for you? I mean, what rhetoric? I've listened to the entire campaign, covered it. I never heard anything that was like denigrating or threatening to the African American community at all. So these people are living in a delusional world, and then they go and broadcast this on MSNBC and further embed the lies and disinformation into their viewership.
That he wanted to let police have a day, some sort of day of rage where they can get the crime situation under control in various cities. Well,
a day of rage to get crime under control? What are you implying that black people are leading the charge in crime? Is that what you're implying here? Wow.
The dog whistle there is that he's going to go after black people. And so to see that these text messages were going out the day after he becomes president-elect just feeds into the fear and concern that a lot of African Americans have about what is to come. And
you know what's funny is they keep reporting on these text messages, but they never show them. Can someone show me the text messages? I mean, put them on the screen. But of course they won't do that. Tom Elliott says there's as much evidence MAGA is behind those racist text messages as there is Hillary Clinton or Russia or the CIA, yet that isn't stopping WAPO's Capehart from pinning the blame on Trump. And here's a great clip I pulled for you guys. Charlemagne the God, just a month ago, says Trump is a fascist and will destroy democracy. And now he's saying, Charlemagne, we lied. Listen to this. This is a great video.
How America... I think that she should keep calling Donald Trump a fascist. And I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution.
Don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy? They're not calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday... They're not calling him anything.
They can.
On Monday, they was just calling him that. I would think that, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be about how America effed up and how things are about to be really bad.
He's the most powerful man in the world now.
It just makes you wonder how much of it did they really believe, or how much of it was just politics.
Yep, how much they believe and how much is politics, but yet he's going out there and he's making the language. He's putting out that rhetoric. But it's all changing. It's all collapsing all around them. And I am here for every minute of it with you. So from the streets of New York to the heart of middle America, we're witnessing a nation transformed. The left's mask is off. Their calls for unity replaced by naked hatred for Trump supporters. But their hysteria can't hide the truth. America is turning right. Even Jack Smith is backing down, moving to pause his witch hunt against our president-elect. The tide isn't just turning, it's become a tsunami. Now here's what I want to know from you. What's the best way to unite our country when half of the population is having a complete meltdown? Share your thoughts below. All right, I saw some super chats come through while we were here. Okay, we got some Canadian cash coming in. Okay, we also got... Okay, Daddy Trump is home. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at all these super chats. I got to get caught up here. Okay, Susudio 0530. If you can't follow orders, it is treason. Ruby Sue dropping $10, and she doesn't say anything. She just wants to contribute, and we thank you for that. We've also got Chosen 1956. Their bravado will not hold up. Who else have we got here? Did that show on the screen? I think it did. And we've got, oh yes, it did. It did. Oh, Elizabeth T is saying, what? Well, it's like it's lagging over here. Let me see if I can figure out how to say this correctly. Okay. Elizabeth T. Daddy Trump is home. Daddy Trump is home. And he's pissed. Winston David dropping $10. Just wanted to say, God bless Trump and you. Thank you, Winston Davis. We've also got another $10 from Wounds Are Us, I think is what it is. No Cornyn, no Thune, and no Pompeo. Yes, we don't want them anywhere near this administration. We've got RPH Jacobs saying, Kentucky girl here. We were one of the first to call Trump our winner for our state, so appreciate your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Kentucky girl. Scott Trudeau up in Canada, and he has this to say: Trump will clean house immediately, drain the swamp on day one, January 21st, 2025. Yes, I am anxious for that. Another one, for another 10 from Wounds Are Us, who says, do they realize that when they spew their garbage, there are many more of us than them? No, I don't think they recognize it. See, they live in an echo chamber because they're stuck sitting there watching MSNBC and believing all of the lies. Here is Roger Top, and he says, it drops $25. Roger Lalick. He says, keep up the tremendous work, Gary. God bless America, and God bless the next news network. Well, I will tell you this, Roger. God has blessed us tremendously by giving us this position, by entrusting us to speak to you day after day, and entrusting us with the weapons to push back against the lies with the sword of truth that he has put in our hand, he has put in Donald Trump's hand, and he's put in your hand. We are giving you the tools to push back on these lies every single day. Here is Teddy Harrington, who just dropped a couple minutes ago. He says, $10. Thank you, Teddy. Think about it, Gary. If they can acknowledge a man being a woman, which is delusional, then they are operating in delusion normally. Yeah, well, that's the case, Teddy. They are living in a delusional world. And then we have simply $5 from F. Joe Biden. He needs to court-martial some of these generals. Well, I think we're going to see that very, very soon. If you want your message seen, if you want your message heard, make sure you drop a super chat. The chat room is absolutely on fire right now. I can hardly keep up with it. Thank you. I see all the hearts you guys are dropping too. It is beautiful to see all the 100%, the hearts. Okay, Rainbow Melon just dropped a 2-spot. Woke up to MAGA. Great day to be alive. Yes, Rainbow Melon. It is the MAGA, the first official MAGA weekend in the United States. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. And thank you for joining us on this special Saturday broadcast where we are just breaking all kinds of streaming records. I've never seen it. We had it up to over 14,500 people watching. So keep sharing, keep spreading the message, and again, this is the key. This is the key. I need to drill this into your head. Text message. You have to put the stream link into your phone, copy the link, and text it to your friends. That way it cannot be suppressed. All right? And if you're part of our X Army, retweet, retweet, retweet. If you're not part of it yet, make sure you go to our X account and you follow us on X. You help us increase our numbers. Retweet everything that we put out that you agree with. Quote tweet it. Reply, do whatever it is that you do, but be the first one, because a lot of times you won't see, if we're not posting during the day on YouTube, trust me, I'm posting on X, and there are things I post there you won't see on YouTube. So make sure you are part of our X army. We've got another one from Papa's Farm, who says, Christ is king and Trump is POTUS. Amen. $1.99. F. Joe Biden also dropping another 5-spot. Suspend all security clearances and review them all. That is awesome. Yeah, suspend them. All those people that signed that document claiming Hunter Biden's laptop was phony Russian disinformation, yeah, every one of them, their security clearances must be revoked. Okay, folks, we've got more news. This is probably the most consequential story that we have been tracking since it broke. We've got lots of reaction coming out now, and we are going to present it to you because it is outrageous what has occurred. But it confirms everything that we have been saying. Remember, oh, it's a conspiracy. No, it's a fact. It's a fact because there are people on the ground experiencing it, and now we're going to share that with you. Tonight, we expose something so shocking, so fundamentally un-American, it will make your blood boil. A high-ranking FEMA official who has now been identified as Marn'i Washington, who tried to hide behind the name of Mariana Gatlinburg, well, she ordered disaster relief workers at FEMA to skip homes with Trump signs. Let that sink in. At least 20 American families devastated by Hurricane Milton were denied help because of their political beliefs. FEMA claims they're horrified, but here's what they won't tell you. This wasn't just one rogue official. This was the deep state showing its true colors. And just like FEMA's mask has fallen, showing their true nature, your skin can reveal signs of weakness and fatigue. These government agents may discriminate, but nature doesn't. We all face the same battle against aging. After age 20, your body's collagen production drops dramatically, just like our institution's integrity under Biden. But while we can't trust FEMA, you can trust this revolutionary collagen formula. Unlike typical supplements, it combines 5 critical types of collagen to keep you strong and resilient. Do your body a favor. Get it today while it's 51% off only at healthwithgary.com. Plus, if you order today, you'll get free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free new ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping. Once again, that's healthwithgary.com. Or simply click the link down below. Okay, this is probably the most important story, other than the fact that we've been tracking how the Pentagon is already working to try to push back against so-called Trump orders. But this is very dangerous. This shows the twisted internal feelings and directives of members of our own government, FEMA, the agency that is tasked with protecting the United States in times of national distress. An agent of FEMA, what happened? She decided that she was going to put out the directive to deny Trump supporters support, effectively leaving Trump supporters to die. We have this here. This came from the Daily Wire. I've got lots of reaction. But first, let's take a look at how Fox covered this.
Lawmakers now confirming a report that says after Hurricane Milton, a FEMA supervisor told disaster relief workers in Florida to avoid homes with Trump signs in their yards. FEMA says it believes the incident is isolated, and the supervisor who gave the anti-Trump order is no longer in that role. The senior national correspondent Kevin Cork is live in D.C. with what we're learning about this tonight. Kevin, good
Evening, Trace. Quite a story. Imagine if you'd been impacted by a major storm, hoping the government, the one that you send your taxpayer funds to, will aid in your recovery, only to discover that if you support Donald Trump, they're going to ignore you altogether. And that's apparently what happened in the great state of Florida, where a FEMA supervisor allegedly told workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. And tonight, credit where credit is due, that FEMA official has been removed from her role by the agency. In a statement to Fox News Digital, a FEMA spokesperson said the agency is deeply disturbed, noting the official who gave the instruction was given no direction to tell teams to avoid these homes. Quote, while we believe this is an isolated incident, we have taken measures to remove the employee from their role and are investigating the matter to prevent this from happening ever again.
Okay, well, what about when FEMA prioritizes diversity, equity, and inclusion? I mean, we've been tracking it. James O'Keefe, he's exposed this. When they prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion, they are embedding their racist ideology and their hatred into and institutionalizing it. So then you get these people like this woman here. This is the woman who thinks that she's going to go ahead and execute that directive, because that's how she interprets it. The FEMA supervisor who instructed disaster relief to avoid homes advertising Trump has been relieved of her duties. Here she is. This is from Matt Wallace, the fat FEMA official fired for ordering staff to skip over providing aid to Trump's supporter. This is her right here. She has now been officially identified. The Oversight Committee has now invited FEMA Administrator Criswell to testify at a hearing to answer for the agency's response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton, and to investigate why hurricane-impacted Americans were discriminated against for supporting President Trump. So now this is getting even bigger. Here's the letter that was sent by James Comer, and is getting even bigger. Okay, so look at this. This is how we discovered who she was. Trump-hating Marn'i Washington, assigned to the Highlands region as Crew 49 lead. This is the official FEMA Disaster Survivor Assistance chart. And if we zoom in, you can see right there, Crew 49 lead T, Marn'i Washington, right there. Okay? Now, if we take a look at the text messages that were sent, however they were distributed, here it is. This is from the Daily Wire. They're the ones that broke the story. But if you look at the top, it says Crew 33 best practices. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Apparently now she has two names. It's being reported she changed her name on LinkedIn instead of deleting her account like a normal person would do. She simply changed her name. She was probably getting searched up. People were probably sending her messages. And, well, not anymore. You can't hide. Ron DeSantis is investigating as well. The blatant weaponization of government by partisan activists in the federal bureaucracy is yet another reason why the Biden-Harris administration is in its final days. At my direction, the Division of Emergency Management is launching an investigation into federal government-targeted discrimination of Floridians who support Donald Trump. New leadership is on the way in D.C., and I'm optimistic that these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. Oh, yes, well, she was fired. Here is her certificate of completion, Marn'i Washington. She hates Trump supporters and used her position in FEMA to order her group not to give support to those who had Trump signs or flags. Oh, my goodness. Feels good to knock out another certification before the new year. Victory loves preparation. But you hate people simply because they support President Trump, and you're not going to provide the support that FEMA is directed to provide because of a Trump sign? This goes beyond accountability being fired. This is criminal. This could, maybe it's attempted murder. If you search for Marn'i Washington on LinkedIn, you can see her picture and her job history, currently employed with FEMA, in addition to a couple other gigs. Her name is now Mariana Gatlinburg. Yeah, where'd you get that name? Donald Trump Jr. weighing in. This is outrageous, even for the Democrats in charge, and should be criminal. These people should be ousted from FEMA, government, and society. A full investigation is in order. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. Mario Nafal tweeting as well. FEMA supervisor removed over controversial Trump-related directive. Marn'i Washington, FEMA supervisor, has been relieved of her duties after reportedly instructing disaster relief officials to avoid homes advertising Trump. According to an official statement, Washington allegedly communicated this directive both verbally and via Microsoft Teams to relief workers in Florida after the hurricane. That is sourced by Fox News. Oh, Judge Jeanine, she's not happy either. Here she is in a late night post. She didn't even have time to put her makeup on. She was so pissed.
Now, I get up and read at all hours of the night. What I just read makes me crazy. A FEMA manager directed that employees under that person's direction avoid all homes where there was any support or any signage supporting Donald Trump. So you've got the Federal Emergency Management Agency official saying, do not help people who support Donald Trump. Now, if you ever questioned whether or not they hate us, whether it was just, hyperbole and exaggeration, and they really didn't mean it, they literally put it in writing in a team chat to avoid homes where Hurricane Milton destroyed areas where people supported Donald Trump. The people on the left are haters. And I'm telling you, if Kamala Harris got elected, I don't know where we would be. But thank God for Donald Trump. And this woman has not been fired. She is no longer in that role, quote unquote. I don't give a damn. She needs to lose her job.
Apparently her job has been taken from her. We've got some more on this. This is insane. Now, Daily Wire, they're the ones that broke this story, so kudos to them. This is Fox and Friends weekend co-hosts reacting to their news.
Wire. Now, according to the Daily Wire, this is a staggering story. FEMA officials, which should be helping everybody, directed hurricane relief workers in Florida to avoid certain homes that had Trump signs in their lawn. Okay, here's the report according to the Daily Wire. A FEMA supervisor told workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. Internal messages viewed by the Daily Wire reveal. The supervisor, Marn'i Washington, relayed this message both verbally and in group chat used by the relief team. Multiple government employees told the Daily Wire. So now hurricane relief also politicized.
Wow. Yeah, no question. And by the way, there was already outrage that so many FEMA funds had been raided to give to illegal immigrants. And so obviously people are saying we gotta take the politics out of something as essential as emergency relief. I mean, this is insane. And by the way, the FEMA spokesperson has a statement. FEMA helps all survivors, regardless of their political preference or affiliation. And we are deeply disturbed by this employee's actions. While we believe this is an isolated incident, we've taken measures to remove the employee from their role and are investigating the matter to prevent this from happening ever again. The employee who issued this guidance had no authority and was given no direction from anyone to tell teams to avoid these homes. And we are reaching out to the people who have not been reached as a result of this incident. Will, I'm surprised that, you see lots of agencies getting politicized. This is one you really wouldn't expect.
Well, it's not just... To me, my focus is less on FEMA and more, I would imagine this is the case in every government agency. And what it does is show the depth of the cancer inside of our government, and that you have to root out politicization at the highest levels, for example, of the DOJ. But you have to also understand there's a bureaucracy under every one of these state departments where you have, you know, foot soldiers who behave in the same manner as Merrick Garland. Right. And in order to really reform the bureaucracy, I actually think you are going to need, like Elon Musk walking through the lobbies of Washington, D.C. with a sink in his hands. He's going to have to sit there with the Department of Government Efficiency and cut it down to the size you could drown it in a bathtub. Otherwise, this is where we are now.
Yeah, this is where we are. Thankfully, this was exposed. Absolutely disgraceful that this would happen in America. Oh, man. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's more.
Has been removed from their role. Welcome back. A FEMA official has been removed from their role after a message shows the employee directing disaster relief workers to skip homes advertising support for President-elect Trump after devastating hurricane damage in Florida. Madison Scarpino is live with the very latest on this story. And Madison, are we learning what's happening to this employee?
Anita, we're still waiting to clarify the exact measures that have been taken. As you mentioned, they say that the employee has been removed from their role, but FEMA tells Fox they are deeply disturbed and horrified by this. And now FEMA, House Republicans, and Florida officials are all investigating the incident. And this all happened in Highlands County, Florida, back in October last month. The county was hit hard by Hurricane Milton and backed President-elect Trump by over 56% on Tuesday. The Daily Wire obtained private messages showing a FEMA official instructing workers there to avoid homes advertising Trump. In a system tracking applications, hurricane relief workers would enter. They made no contact with that resident, saying, quote, Trump sign, no contact per leadership, according to the report. Now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is calling this a blatant weaponization of government and goes on to say with new leadership on its way to D.C., he's optimistic these partisan bureaucrats will be fired. And Senator James Lankford is another Republican calling for an investigation into this. He says, quote, my office has already been in contact with FEMA about this. It is true. I'm grateful FEMA is taking action to address it, but we'll closely monitor to ensure this can never happen again. FEMA is there to help, not discriminate. But
oh my goodness. So imagine this. This was posted. Imagine your house is in ruins from a hurricane. All your family memories, passed down items, and the things that make us all feel like home is a special place are all gone. And this FEMA employee decides based on who you vote for whether or not to help you or not. Here is James O'Keefe revealing the DEI standards from a whistleblower inside FEMA that have basically become a cancerous sore inside that agency, leading to moments like we're seeing now.
Internet. My name is Kelsey Goodman. I'm here to blow the whistle on FEMA. There are still people that are missing. Rivers that were existing before have now turned into lakes. There are still communities without power, without water, without access to cell phones or internet. You can go on the FEMA website. The #1 goal of FEMA is to instill equity in emergency management. It's not to save lives. It's not to create stronger communities that will weather future disasters. It's to instill equity.
It almost feels like I'm being asked to give my opinion on equity to the state, and I am not comfortable at all doing that.
Right now, we ask that you do it. You tell us how you did it. And the guidance is the guidance until you get further instructions.
Wow. That's where we're at, folks. Firing her is not the answer. Arrest and prosecute. She instructed FEMA disaster relief officials to avoid homes that were advertising Trump. Yeah, this is where we're at, folks. But there are investigations at the federal level with the Oversight Committee, as well as in Florida with Ron DeSantis. So this is not going away anytime soon. This is not the end of this story, and it's a story we will continue to track. So the FEMA scandal isn't just about discrimination. It's about the weaponization of government against the American people. While Governor DeSantis launches an investigation and Donald Trump Jr. calls for criminal charges, we have to ask, how deep does this rot go? Marn'i Washington has been removed, but she is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what happens when partisan activists infiltrate our emergency services. So here's my question to you, Patriots. What should be the punishment for government officials who deny Americans help based on their political beliefs? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, we got some more super chats to get into right now. A couple more have arrived. Someone needs to answer the question. F. Joe Biden says, someone needs to answer the question, why, if you are not working for the government, do you have security clearance for the government? Exactly. TC, dropping a 10 spot, says, thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Gary. Yes, we give glory to God here every single day. Gemini Moon from Canada, dropping a 20 spot. They need to take all the satanic rituals down, starting with Satan's Arch in Washington. They need to save the children. And then we have Chathana dropping a 5 spot. Let's get serious. What do we do with traitors? And then we have this. Gary, thank you for standing against the censor culture. Well, it has not been easy. Let me tell you, there's been a lot of pain that you guys don't see. Now we have Jesse Heller dropping $4.99. Abolish mutilation, but not abolish abortion. I'm glad Trump is in, but if we want to be truly blessed, follow God's law fully. And then we have August Bliss dropping a 20 spot. Wow, you guys are on fire tonight. Thank you. Saying, I'm uncertain of Department of Efficiency. It is the people that should decide that. I don't want that department to get too much power control. Who decides effectiveness? What does it look like? Very good concerns, August Bliss. Well, I think that when you put Elon Musk in charge, when you put someone like Ron Paul, who's going to be working alongside them, I think we got a pretty good starting point, but I totally get it. We don't want to continue to grow the size of government. That's a major concern for a lot of us. Government should be downsizing, and having a department there that's going to help with the downsizing, I say let it be. Let's give them a shot, but let's keep a close eye on it. That's our job as Americans, to watch how government acts, just like we're watching with this FEMA situation. And we have another one from Real Power. Canadian $10 bill, please inform us on Trump appointees. We certainly will. That is all developing in the background. Some of those appointees, we don't know exactly who they're going to be, but once we have a clear picture of what the cabinet makeup is going to be, we will be sure to report it for you. Liberty Bell Lyric dropping a 5 spot. Great coverage. Hi, Gary and Angie. Amanda Moore. Oh, Amanda. Oh, Amanda. Here's a big virtual hug for you. Oh, my God. It's so good to see you here. Oh, Amanda. Amen. Oh, man, it's been so long. It has been so long, hasn't it? Wow. Great to see you here. And then we have Kyle Evans dropping a 20 spot just 43 seconds ago. He says, take their citizenship and send them to China. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. There are so many chat messages coming through right now. If you want your voice to be heard, make sure you drop a super chat so I can read it. It'll be highlighted on the screen, and we will make sure it is heard. Let's get into some of the latest goings-on right now, the latest news that is happening. Let's get to the top of the feed. Okay, Donald Trump posts from his Truth Social. Oh, wow. This just came in an hour ago. I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. I very much enjoyed and appreciated working with them previously and would like to thank them for their service to our country. Well, that's good news. Nikki Haley and Pompeo are out of the picture. That just came in. If you're wondering why Democrats fight so hard against voter ID laws, wonder no more. Look at that. States Harris 1 versus ID requirement. Look at that. Clear as day. Eric Doherty reporting as well what we just stated. President-elect Trump announces Pompeo and Nikki Haley are out of the next administration. As it's happening right now in Seattle, thousands of people outside the Space Needle protesting Donald Trump winning the presidential election. Well, scream at the sky all you want, because he is your president, whether you like it or not. Inauguration Day is going to be something beautiful. We're going to see a lot of screaming liberals, aren't we? The first human case of H5 bird flu has been detected in Canada. Donald Trump announcing his 10-point plan to rebuild America's school system. Let's listen.
We will respect. Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child.
Amen. Thank you, President Trump. Making schools great again. We have this. Okay, this is continuing with Pompeo and Haley. They are out. Let's see. Tucker Carlson has a new product out as well. So yeah, this is all the top of the list right now. Everyone is reporting that Haley and Pompeo are out. This is all trending real time right now. The Los Angeles Police Department says police will not participate in mass deportations. What I can say here, any talk of mass roundups or the police department being involved, we don't want that kind of thing. Okay, fine. I'm sure President Trump will find a way around you guys. David Hale, make this the Republican Party again, please. Really? No, we're done with these guys. These guys are gone. They are out. Excuse me. Okay. Great historical quotes from our presidents. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Abraham Lincoln. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. John F. Kennedy. Donald Trump. I have never seen a thin person drinking a Diet Coke. Oh, here's a picture of liberals right now. Yeah, there they are. Not expecting this to happen. I don't know. Dare I even press this button?
Mama?
Oh, no, I'm not going to press that button. Okay. RFK Jr. announcing big changes to public health agencies starting on day one. On day one, we're going to fire, or if we can't fire them, we're going to ship them into a new HHS headquarters in Guam. Every nutritional scientist in FDA, because all of them are corrupt. Oh, damn. Wow, he really said that? Yeah, we're gonna relocate HHS to Guam.
A lifetime. But
happen, Robert. We are behind you. Which of these three senators would you support the most as the new Senate Majority Leader replacing McConnell? We'll make sure the results of this poll are sent to the GOP senators before they vote on Wednesday. This is Donald Trump post from his Truth Social. Donald Trump issuing this poll. John Cornyn, John Thune, or Rick Scott? Well, Rick Scott has got my vote, and there he is. He's at 93% on this poll. Wall Street Apes, this video's got 700,000 likes. I don't even want to look at it. The winning is overwhelming. Here's Roger Stone with Pierce Morgan. Black people, Hispanics, really all people want the same thing: economic opportunity, safe neighborhoods, low gas, and food prices. They realize Trump brought us those things before, and he could do it again. Let's hear what Roger Stone has to say.
It is quite staggering that somebody who has been branded the most racist candidate in history, a neo-Nazi, a fascist, blah, 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 ended up with this surging support from black voters and particularly from Latino voters when he was up against a female black candidate. What do you think that says about America? Was it just that American voters saw through all the Nazi nonsense?
First of all, it was nonsense. And our mistake, perhaps, as political analysts, is to not realize that black people and Hispanics, and really all people, they all want the same thing. They want economic opportunity and security. They want safe and secure neighborhoods. They want low gas prices. They want low food prices. They realize, based on his 4 years and the last 4 years, that Donald Trump brought us those things before and that he could bring them again. So I think this is why he made these historic gains. Let's recognize that he won an absolute majority of Hispanic Americans. I mean, George W. Bush, I think, had the highest previous high water mark at about 38.5%. So people voted for their future, and they trust him with their future far more than they trusted Kamala Harris.
That's the truth. Okay, we got some super chats, and if you have any super chats you want to get in, you got to get them in now. We're going to be closing the show in a minute, but I want to make sure everyone gets their voice heard. We have Cindy, who's dropping a $10 bill. Thank you, Cindy. No message, but just wants to show her support. We've got Ann Russell dropping a 20 spot. Thank you, Ann. No message, of course, just filling the gas tank over here at the Next News Network. We've got Apogee Health Direct 7 minutes ago saying, going to Movable Feast tomorrow. See you all there. Awesome. Make sure, Apogee, when you go, tell them you saw it on the Next News Network. Tell them Gary Franchi and Angie Franchi send their regards, and we are fighting for them as much as we possibly can. And we just thank them for standing steadfast in their beliefs. We got Real Power sending in a Canadian $10 bill. Trump is the sword of Jehu in the Bible. Bible's version of draining the swamp. Thank you for that. Taylor Soul dropping a $4.99. Thank you for that, Taylor. And then dropping a follow-up $4.99. And the message here is scamming has increased to $4.6 billion in 2023 under the Biden regime. Trump needs to hold government housing scammer call centers accountable. All right, last chance. If you got something to say, it's time to say it now. We are going to be closing out the show And then we got to get the news up. We got thumbnails we got to create. It's been an amazing show. We hit some amazing records, 14,500 people at the peak of the show. An amazing time. So it doesn't look like there's any more super chats to get to. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, all of our moderators, for just being awesome. Now, what we've covered tonight isn't just news. It's a snapshot of America at a pivotal moment in history. Just 4 days after Donald Trump's historic landslide victory, we're already seeing the deep state's mask slip off completely. So let's recap what we have uncovered. A FEMA official caught red-handed ordering workers to deny disaster relief to Trump supporters. Pentagon brass plotting in secret to defy their incoming commander-in-chief. Big tech tyrants trembling as their censorship empire crumbles. And the great American reset that's already reshaping global politics. But here's what ties it all together. Every single one of these stories exposes the desperate attempts of an entrenched bureaucracy trying to cling to power. They thought they could discriminate against patriots through FEMA. They thought they could plot against Trump in the Pentagon. They thought they could silence us online. Well, they thought wrong. And you, our incredible viewers, have been with us every step of the way. Your super chats tonight, your Rumble rants have been explosive. You've called out the deep state, supported fellow patriots, and shown why this community is the strongest in alternative media. And speaking of support, we need to talk about something serious. These stories we brought you tonight, the mainstream media will not touch them. The algorithms are trying to bury them. That's why we need you to help keep this operation going. The links to donate are in the description. Every dollar helps us fight back against the censors and to keep bringing you the truth. And for those of you who want to wear their patriotism proudly, don't forget to check out our brand new merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked in the description. Limited edition Next News swag designed for patriots who aren't afraid to show where they stand. And before we go, I want you to think about this. 4 days ago, America chose a path back to greatness, but the fight isn't over. It is just beginning. The deep state is wounded but not defeated. The tech tyrants are weakened but not destroyed. And the global elites, they are more desperate than ever. And that's why we need you to spread the word. Tell your friends about the Next News Network. Share our streams. Bypass the algorithms by texting our links directly. Because in the end, it's not just about reporting the news, it's about building a community of patriots who refuse to be silenced. So thank you for making this special Saturday edition of the Raw Feed a record-breaking stream, one for the history books. Your super chats, your Rumble rants have been incredible. Remember, we are live every weekday bringing you the stories they don't want you to hear. And I just saw another super chat just came in. Watch woman on the wall, video game controller dances goofily under the word woot. Well, thank you for that 20 spot. We can't do it without you. So until next time, I'm Gary Franchi. God bless you. God bless America, and enjoy the rest of this first MAGA weekend.